Hello and welcome back to a new episode of our worst weapons run of Ultimate General Civil War. And today we are going to fight the Battle of Gaines Mill. And I'm very excited for this fight. Last episode we could first see that the rebels had better weapons than us, and therefore this battle should be a very interesting challenge. Our soldiers have gathered in the 1st and 2nd Corps, and our brigades will reinforce as much as possible. Within our 1st Corps, only the brigade of Iverson and Drayton have the Reboard Farmer, and in our 2nd Corps, the brigades of Devons, Page and Darden have the Farmer Musket. Everyone else is armed with the Springfield M1842. To support our infantry in our 1st Corps, we are going to bring a battery of 6-pounder field guns, a battery of 12-pounder howitzers and 2 batteries of 10-pounder ordnances with 16 guns each. And we're also bringing 2 units of Sharps snipers. In our 2nd Corps we have additionally our skirmishing cavalry and our shock cavalry, and another battery of 6-pounder field guns and 12-pounder howitzers. And if you take a look in our armory, you can see that we have over 875 Reboard Farmers lying around. Unfortunately not enough to equip a decent sized unit with, and therefore I've decided to replace them with the Springfield 1842. But at least this allows us to reinforce 1 or even 2 of our brigades after the battle. We also have 166 hunters lying around. Unfortunately, these are also not enough to equip a decently sized sniping unit with, and therefore I've decided to buy the Sharps. Our cavalry is armed with the Sharps model 1855, and maybe we are soon going to capture a couple more Cook and Brothers, and then we can downgrade to this model. And to make sure that we can field 20 brigades in 1 corps, our last career point was invested into army organization. As you can see, the Confederates are going to bring 52,000 soldiers onto the battlefield and 123 artillery pieces, while we, together with our 1st and our 2nd Corps, who are going to reinforce, can only muster 41,800 soldiers and 96 guns. So our forces are executing a tactical withdrawal to prepare for this attack on our right flank. Our objective is to hold the line along Boatswain Creek and protect the main Union army deployed a few miles south. Rebels are currently marching towards our location and are preparing for a major assault. Unknown enemy numbers might attempt to surround us from the northeast. We must hold our position and not allow the Confederates to pass through, otherwise our army will be in great danger of being surrounded and destroyed. The only reinforcements we expect are a few elements of our own corps. The rest of the Union forces must hold a defensive line against a possible rebel attack from the west. General, the rebels are pursuing us and are coming down this road past Gaines Mill. We must buy time for our army to establish a defensive line along Boatswain Creek. It is advised to deploy skirmishers and delay the enemy. Our orders have been given and the men are rushing into position. I'm not going to deploy our soldiers on this defensive line. Instead, we're going to push up over here. This should allow us to utilize these woods as a defensive line and to hold the enemy back on the other side. A few skirmishers are rushing ahead to delay the enemy, and more skirmishers are deployed over here, in these woods, over here and over here, to make sure that we can get a good eye on the enemy. Down here we have some skirmishers holding our own line, and we have been issued some snipers that can move forward. We have already made contact with enemy skirmishers, and we need to engage the enemy. In the meantime, our soldiers are going to rush back to make sure that we cannot get overwhelmed. If things go sideways, we will of course withdraw, but I hope that we can stop the enemy where we stand right now. Over here we are getting attacked by a brigade on the field, and we can see that more enemy brigades are pushing onto the field. There's Anderson. Kite skirmishers are struggling to fire, and I want Roberts to shift. We can see that Anderson and Gregg are trying to run. Let's make sure that kite skirmishers are withdrawn. Scales can also withdraw slightly. We have the problem that the enemy is otherwise going to get into melee range of our skirmishers. These 6-pounders are going to get back here. General also pull back. And over here the first elements of our units have reached their fighting position. These boys need to stay here. And Scales skirmishers need to fire a volley and then they need to run back. Their flank is completely exposed. Yeah, their morale is dropping way too quick. And there they are routed. Kitesmen, they can hold. Robertsmen can also fall back. I want them to get onto this position and maybe in the future we can rush out and hit the enemy in the flank. Over here, Porter, Upton and McCook have made it to their target. These 12-pounders I want to move forward. And over here we have gotten some snipers. For now I'm going to send them over here. I think they should be in a good position to at some point rush out and hit the enemy flank. Brewster is able to engage the enemy. Hold your ground. Over here Scales is also able to hold back the enemy for a little while. Woods can also hold his ground. And we have some eyes on the enemy over here. If they get closer, we will be notified. Down here, Drayton is coming up as a large reserve. And these 6-pounders are finally getting ready. Unfortunately, we do not have any 10-pounders. And therefore, I will order these guns to stop shooting. These 12-pounders also need to set up. Brewster, you can shift slightly into a bit better position so that Kite can still shoot. And Brewster needs to push up to get onto the enemy. More troops of AP Health Forces are advancing. Not ideal, not terrible. We have our line in more or less good order. I'm a little bit worried about Woods. Let's get him replaced with Drayton. Drayton on the double. Woods, you can move slowly. And we can see that Greg's 2,800 men are walking on our flank. I think it is good that we have sent Drayton over. We hear a charge. Field is coming up. Therefore, I'm going to order Scales skirmishers to reattach. Woods is almost in ambush position. A nice volley on Greg's flank. It is, of course, not going to cause massive casualties. But at least something. And now they can also reattach. Kite skirmishers can reattach. Brewster's men can stay out just a little while longer. And these 6-pounders can open fire. Come on, boys. There's Greg. Well, it was certainly something, but not completely devastating. Sharps, you're going to get around. You're going to have an absolute field day. These 12-pounders for now still need to hold their fire. Kite skirmishers are struggling to get back. And I want all our soldiers to hold their ground. And now we are notified that the rebels are continuing their attack. More rebel forces have been spotted coming. Alrighty. We need to get these skirmishers back to capture this position. So far it was officially not captured by our forces. We have Brewster over here. He is about to get flanked. Let's get these boys to get back to the parent unit. And we now have the option to shoot into the flag of Greg. Drayton is able to open fire. River not so much. Maybe we can get him just a step forward so that we can get the enemy on this line. This would be very helpful. And I think these 12-pounders can now also open fire. I'm going to order them to hold their position to make sure that we are not going to lose too much space while they are moving. And I think we can also get reverse skirmishers forward so that they can hit Greg in the rear. Over here we can see that Rivera is able to open fire. Greg is now shifting, allowing us to shoot him in the rear. I very much like that, especially since our 6-pounders are now opening fire. Unfortunately over here Roberts is bleeding. He has these Springfields, so he has some of our better equipment. Can we get Scales forward just for a slight moment to maximize our firepower on Archer? Over here these skirmishers are beginning to bleed. Rooster is taking some casualties from enemy sniper fire. And we should see Greg wavering and falling back soon. Roberts, I want to move you forward so that we can figure out if they're trying to flank us. Otherwise, I think we are in a pretty good position to hold back the enemy. For now at least. So far we have only taken 1.5% casualties. We can see that Greg is now wavering. And our soldiers are pouring on a good amount of fire on the enemy. Scales so far has suffered more casualties than he dished out. I guess that Coleman's artillery are really hurting him. And these snipers are soon going to be destroyed. I want to get Kite's skirmishers out to maybe give up some flanking hits on these skirmishers if somehow possible. Kite's main force needs to shift. His skirmishers need to reattach. I guess he is blocked by these skirmishers. Let's make sure that he gets forward slightly so that we can annihilate those. And we can see that Greg has fallen back. Over here we can get our sharps forward on Archer. And I want Roberts in the woods. Rivera can fall back for the moment. And this is the next volley that we can unleash on the enemy flanks. We need to get our general closer to Scales to make sure that he does not get destroyed. And over here finally enemy skirmishers ran away. Anderson is still on the field and it doesn't look like we can really contest him. Our 12-pounders are dishing out some fire though. It is not much and it is not the most accurate fire, but at least it is something. Our sharps are soon going to run out of ammunition and there is Greg coming back. Let's make sure that these boys get out of there. And we're going to get Swallow's supplies down to make sure that our snipers can get replenished. Robots I'm going to send around and hopefully they are able to attack enemy guns. But we're now notified that Eagle's division is advancing. Yeah, there is the first part on Lawton and Johnson's guns are also setting up. And with this, our troubles are soon going to begin. Greg is coming up and over here LV has set up and spotted our skirmishers. Let's hope... No, we are going to send them back. We do not know what else is coming and therefore we cannot send them out this far. But with our flanking hits on Greg, we should be in a good position to deal some good damage. Ideally, I now also want to get River over so that we can force Greg to open up his flank again. And if he doesn't, we are going to roll up the enemy side as much as possible. Over here we have Lawton coming up. He is now for a moment hidden. And Scales, you need to fall back slightly and shift your front, hold your ground, otherwise you are going to be outflanked. The rest of our corps is arriving. Hallelujah. And for the moment they are simply ordered in our center. Rivera, you need to double time it. Very nice volley on Greg. Now get out of the water so that you can get the maximum amount of cover. Reverse skirmishers also need to push up. And I guess it is now safe to move forward. Scales is going to take a massive amount of casualties. He is in the center of the enemy attack. These 12-pounders need to shift on Seymour. Let's hope we can break through with Rivera quick enough. so that we can relieve Scale's position. We have Drayton over here. He is soon able to shoot. Come on. If necessary, move forward just a few steps. Yeah, very nice, very nice. We are able to hit Greg. And over here we are going to get Roberts forward to arrest Coleman. Scales, you just need to hold out a little while longer. Over here not much is happening. I'm willing to rotate Porter out of this position on the double. These 12-pounders are getting ready to hit Seymour, and we can see that Coleman is withdrawing and reshifting. Let's get Roberts down to hit him once more. Greg is now opening his flank. Very good. He should fall back quickly now. 6-pounders also open up on Greg. He is the best target that we have at the moment. And we are able to make Coleman run. Porter delivered a good volley. Now he needs to fall back, otherwise the skirmishers are going to rear flank him. Scales' morale is dropping, but he is still able to stay in the fight. Greg is now wavering. Down here we were able to rout Coleman. Let's get these snipers around. They have Springfields, very nice. And now we're going to get reverse forward on LZ. Sharps also on LZ if somehow possible. And these skirmishers are going to protect your flank. Stop running. You have been spotted. Fall back. Rivere is almost without cover, but now we are able to open up again. Sharps open up on LZ. These 6-pounders open up on LZ. Upton, you're getting forward on those snipers. Down here Coleman has set up. He is trying to open fire. Let's make sure that we can keep him routed. And down here our approaching soldiers need to hurry up. I want this lone brigade to move up here to hold our center. We have nothing on this flank, and it is a massive amount of luck that the enemy has not attacked us there yet. Roberts, move forward. And we have routed LZ. Very good. Let's get Rivere over to make sure that we can get on the flank of Panda, and I also want Drayton to move forward. We need to save Scales if somehow possible. These 12-pounders I want to move down closer to Falkerson. And we need to be careful with Robert's men, otherwise the retreating enemy is going to get him. It looks like General Hill is willing to block our formation. Maybe someone can get him off his horse. This would be very nice. Drayton and Rivere are now going to attack Panda. Scales has almost taken 500 casualties. And up here we are able to hit some enemy skirmishers. Enemy guns are once more routed. Very good. Greg has reformed his line. Sharps, you need to fall back. Rivere is going to buy us some time. And these Sharps need now to focus on Panda's flank. Very good volley, very good volley. Can we get anyone forward to help? No, we cannot. Drayton and Rivere, you are on your own right now. But hopefully we are able to work through them. Down here, Falkerson was routed. Kite is down to 1600 men. Scales is surprisingly still holding. Our 12-pounders are apparently now shelling this group with Seymour and the skirmishers. Only 78 kills so far. I wish we had some 24-pounders, but this is going to be wishful thinking for a long time. These supplies need to move forward, and down here I am willing to send Woods forward. We might need him. So far they have nothing to break through our flank, so if we are able to keep our pressure going, we might be able to inflict heavy casualties. Enemy supplies are almost in reach over on this direction. Let's order our soldiers to hold fire. We do not know where their guns went. I'm sure they went somewhere up here. But if we are able to get their supplies, this already would be a massive victory. Our reinforcements so far have not made it. Scales is now taking heavier casualties. There are enemy guns. It is not worth it hunting their supplies. Let's focus on their guns at the moment. And our snipers are doing a fantastic job, but within a couple volleys they will have to withdraw. Down here we are taking more and more casualties. Panda is blocking our advance. Greg luckily has not rejoined the battle yet. Over here Trimble is soon going to be a target, and Porter is also setting up. Let's get Lyle's soldiers closer to the field. Upton is not trading well against those skirmishers. Let's get McCook out of there for the moment. And there is LV coming back. We have once more lost eyes on enemy guns. Let's move our boys forward. And for the moment I am going to recall our sharps to resupply. But these supplies also need to get a little bit closer to Scales to make sure that he doesn't run out of ammunition. And the first 3 brigade that we can move up, I am going to replace Scales with to make sure that he can recover. Woods is pushing up, he is preparing to hit LZ, very good. On the double now. Reverse skirmishers are able to hit him in the flank. But I do not know how long we can hold this push. Over here our line is getting battered and bruised. These skirmishers are surprisingly still holding. Let's get some skirmishers out that are trying to get on the flank of these skirmishers. It looks like they are now willing to open up their line. This is terrible for the morale of our own men, but it is hopefully allowing us to move up. Upton, you're going to wheel around. McCook, you're going to wheel around. I want you over here. McCook skirmishers, you're going to hunt these skirmishers, and maybe we can do something on this flank. Only 1,300 are left in Scales' unit, but there is Sherman coming up. And we are now also setting up with our 10-pounder ordnances. I was missing those guns for a long while now. They are going to be absolutely crucial. And we can see over here Roberts is coming up to hit the flank of Coleman. Reverse morale is dropping, and now finally our sharps are going to get some ammunition. It looks like our skirmishers have been caught in a melee. And enemy guns are repositioning. We need to shift them around. And over here we need to push up. Seymour is now getting hit hard. He is without cover, and we have a little bit. Therefore we should be able to succeed. Over here Rivera is still suffering, but we are able to waver Alzi. Sherman is still walking. I'm not going to double time it. DH Hill's brigades are now threatening our right flank. Exactly what we do not need. Selim Caldwell, you are going to block this enemy approach. Let's hope Iverson is going to be strong enough to hold back the enemy. And over here we only have a limited amount of time to do as much damage as somehow possible. The Confederates holding McGee Hill. This position, this means that they are already in our rear. And unfortunately we need to retake this position. Therefore we are unable to keep up our pursuit over here. Cardwell and Sill, I'm going to redirect you to the south. And over here we might be able to rout Anderson, but that is going to be it. We will have to withdraw afterwards. Down here Drayton is charging. I did not order that. Brewster also, stop. I admire your enthusiasm, but this is not your mission. And now we are ordered to hold until the rest of the day. The Confederates are receiving more reinforcements. and we must hold at all cost. I quickly had to give out a few orders. It is impossible for us to hold this push if more Confederates are coming up over here. Drayton also got routed, therefore River and Woods are going to retreat to their previous position. River skirmishers are going to make sure we are not easily getting outrun over here. And for a brief second we could already see enemy forces over here. Therefore these men are pushing up. But hopefully we are not getting overrun on our rear. We were able to drive back Anderson. And we have Trimble coming up. Gentlemen, you are going to rush forward and you are going to hit the enemy flank as hard as possible. What can we still do? Rivera is going to make sure that we have an eye on the enemy approach. Drayton is now back to our line. He is going to replace Rivera. Rivera is not in the condition to continue fighting. Sherman has finally made it, replacing Scales. Sherman, hold your ground. Scales, you're going to get back to this line over here. You're going to take position behind our 10-pounders. Those are now finally here and able to hit the enemy. And we are going to figure out what the enemy has over on this area. We only have 21 minutes left to contest this objective. I hope that the mission is not going to be an automatic loss afterwards. Let's get some skirmishers out to scout ahead. And we have found Pryor. River, get out of the water and into cover. River skirmishers, fall back, fall back, fall back, fall back. Sharps, you're going to plug this hole. And over here, Robert skirmishers can get into the safety of the woods. We have broken enemy skirmishers, very good. McCook, move forward. And we are now going to try and hunt Trimble out of his positions. To our south, we can see a large brigade under Garland coming up. Let's send anyone on them. Salesman, I'm going to send them straight to this vantage point. Maybe we can recapture this objective under the nose of the enemy. And Scales, you're getting redirected over here. Sharps, get ready to hit Pryor. Woods, get ready to open fire. Reverse skirmishers are down to 87 men. They suffered severely. And it looks like Robert's men are up in their element again. McCook skirmishers are going to try to outflank Anderson's men. And the question is, of course, how long we can hold against Anderson's brigade. McCook is going to fight outnumbered, as we still have to focus on Trimble. And as I'm also not willing to send out many more soldiers than absolutely necessary to hit the enemy flank. I want to preserve our manpower a little bit, at least. River is getting ready. Finally, he is in position. Or not, he has to withdraw one more. Get in cover. These sharps can now cross the creek. They can then get Pryor's flank. And over here it looks like we are able to rout Trimble. And we are now in form of a massive enemy assault. This is not looking too good, but we are now also receiving our second corps. And I want to gather our second corps in the rear of the enemy. Let's get anyone up there, and I want hardened supplies to get closer to our front line. We're soon going to run out of our own supplies, and then we're going to need them. Reverse skirmishers, you're going to get behind Rivera, and then you're going to reattach. And it looks like we were able to drive Anderson away, even though they had the superior numbers. Brewster, you're going to move forward on Farquharson. Farquharson has his flank exposed. He is now bleeding heavily. Our 10-pounders are also doing a quite good job. Already 90 casualties caused each. This is very good for batteries that have just joined the fight. And Scales, I want you to push up. We are now officially reconquered McGee Hill. We only have one group of skirmishers over there, but this is going to be enough. And as soon as these boys are ready, we are going to attack. Over here we are taking some heavy casualties. Cardwell is up to 250 already. And Garland is apparently not bleeding at all. Iverson, you're going to double time it on the flank of Garland. I want 200 rifles on his flank. Pryor has been repelled, but he is still a very large unit, and therefore it is not worth it to once more flank out from this position. And we now need to push down to block off the enemy approach over here. If we can utilize the hill, this is going to be very good for us. Brewster, you're also going to push forward. Supplies keep up. Swallow is empty, he can rout off the field. And it looks like our soldiers are now also finally getting close. Anderson and Rhodes are charging, still skirmishers are not going to be able to hold that. Let's get them a little bit back, and Stonewall Jackson is of course appearing on the battlefield. He is always where we can't meet him, isn't he? Well, these boys are getting ready. I want our shock cavalry to get on the flank. Where is our skirmishing cav? There it is. Also get ready behind our line. These 6-pounders are going to be basically useless in this battle. And I wonder where Jackson is coming home. Our sharps are in danger, we need to get them back. Roberts, push up. And I assume that Jackson is going to come from the northeast part of the battlefield. So he would be able to get into our rear line. Kite, I'm going to order you to hold out over here. Our flank or center should be strong enough even if you are not present. These 10-pounders, I want them to focus on enemy artillery if somehow possible. Maybe we can distract them just a little bit. Scales needs to get back, these sharps need to get back. And now we need to figure out what is going on over here. It looks like we were able to drive away the first enemy brigade. Now Coldgrade is coming up, Rhodes is over here. Sedgwick can get Hardaway. I'm also going to send in our shock cavalry immediately. Darden, get ready to hit Devons. Page, double time it. Skirmishers behind Devons, you should be able to open up fire. And we have once more lost McGee Hill. Pryor is coming up. We have 3 brigades ready to hit him. He is without cover. And over here it looks like McHook is able to hit Anderson. Fulkerson is down to 800 soldiers. Trimble is coming up together with Law. We are going to get McHook out as soon as possible. Johnson is now going to blast away Robert's skirmishers. Yeah, they are wavering once more. These skirmishers are getting ready to hit Pryor. And we can still see no sign of Jackson. Our shock cavalry is tearing through the enemy line. Garland is preparing, therefore we need to get them out of there. Rhodes is opening up his flank. Very welcome for us. Let's get the boys forward. Cobb, move forward. Price, move forward. Our shock cavalry is now routed. That was a nasty volley. Skirmishing cavalry, you're going to prepare over here. Supplies keep up. 6-pounders open up on this position. And I want Iverson on the flank of Colquitt. It worked before and it should work again. Robertson's men, you're going to hit Wharton. I do not think that his soldiers are going to make it out of this battle. But this is also not the point. We just want to keep their guns occupied. We now need to get ready to shoot down here. We have found enemy strong positions. But we should also be able to shoot down on Branch's flank. Pryor is withdrawing once more. Our sharps are delivering a good volley. Now they can fall back again. And over here we have basically this entire Confederate force surrounded. Iverson, move forward. Caldwell is down to... Oh my god, Caldwell just took a massive beating. I do not know what equipment Colquitt has, but it is good. Iverson, now focus down on Jones. Still, move forward. We have the enemy routed. Page, get ready to shoot. Skirmishers also get closer. And our shock cavalry can move in on Hardaway again. Price, also move forward. Everyone, move forward. Anderson, you're going to stop the enemy over here. Page, if possible, you're going to charge in. And it looks like the enemy is breaking out to our rear. This is exactly the area that I didn't want them to run. I wanted them to flee north. Now, Devons, get ready. These skirmishers need to hunt down Garland. Over here we are pushing up. We are now hitting enemy guns. And I want Iverson to charge into the artillery rear. There we can see Pickett. Apparently he tried a little charge. And Sherman is over here still holding. Swallow surrendered. Okay, I thought for a moment this was an enemy unit, but it is our empty supplies. Rhodes is driving away Darden. Let's get more soldiers ready. And it looked like we were able to destroy at least one enemy battery. Corp, you're going to hold our rear. The 6-pounders need to get onto the position and face south. Davies move up, Grant move up, Page is now routed. Still, you're going to shoot the rear of Rhodes, and the skirmishers need to hit Anderson. It is of course a shame that our supplies surrendered, but it is also not going to really matter. They were empty anyway. McCook's men can reattach. We have Law coming up, but we have him surrounded on multiple sides. These supplies are now also empty and can withdraw. And our sharps over here are coming up again. We see a group of our retreating skirmishers. They were harassing the enemy rear and did whatever they could to stop the enemy. Cardwell, get ready to stop the enemy. Our skirmishers are also rushing in. And these boys also need to get ready. Rhodes is still on the field, now he is wavering and he is going to fall away soon. Still skirmishers can reattach. Page's men can move south. We are going to slaughter these soldiers before they can become a massive headache for our lines. And it looks like the enemy tries to get our supplies out of position. Pickett is now coming up over here. Luckily we are now delivering some supplies. Our sharps are able to shoot the enemy flank. Let's get the sharps down. And it looks like Sill is willing to battle Rhodes as he is withdrawing. Let's get the boys closer and get these sharps to fire down into the enemy. Skirmishing cavalry, you need to get on the flank. Iverson and Cobb, you need to get over here. It looks like the enemy is willing to attack us. How is the situation over here looking? We are able to drive away Anderson. Seymour is coming up. Archer is coming up. Let's also get Porter forward then. We are now pushing heavily. These 12-pounders can get closer. These 10-pounders are shooting into a massive wave of enemies, and these sharps need to fall back. It looks like Pickett... No, Pickett is only facing them. Very well. Scales and Rivera, get forward just a bit. You are able to shoot Pickett. We are of course taking heavy casualties over here. And it looks like the enemy is willing to charge. Trimble and Archer are approaching. Let's focus everything that we have on them. Archer already broke. Trimble is going to make it to our lines, but he is not going to break through. Down here we can see that Swallow is trying to get off the field. Maybe we can get this unit back to our lines. I want our shock heavy also to move along our lines. And Iverson needs to get ready. Caldwell is already getting ready. Cobb is getting ready. Sill is getting ready. Price, you are going to attack. Rhodes is wavering. Let's make sure our boys fight. Still skirmishers, you can reattach. You are in direct area of your parent unit. And our sharps are once more in contact with the enemy. Didn't I order to withdraw you? Sharps, you're getting over here, you're getting outside of the enemy line of fire. Okay, you're not visible anymore, or well, at least you're not their target anymore. Now rotate and open fire again. And I have the vague feeling that we are missing a group of snipers. I at least have not seen them on the battlefield. Seeing us down to 1,000 soldiers. I hope we are able to break this unit soon, and in 7 minutes this is all going to be over. Shock cavalry, get ready. Skirmishing cavalry, hit rolls, very nice, 158 kills from them so far. Devons, get ready. Darden, get ready. Price is down to 1,200 soldiers. And our boys are running out of ammunition. Swallow surrendered. This means that we got our empty supplies back. I'm happy to see that. Colonel Lewis Price is wounded. I am not happy to see that, however. These supplies need to move forward. I have forgotten about them. I'm also need to get Grant closer to the line. Shock cavalry, get ready behind Garland. Maybe you can hit... Nope. You can hit no one. This battle is now over. During the entirety of the battle, we deployed 36,800 infantrymen and 1,350 cavalrymen, as well as 80 artillery pieces. In this battle, we suffered 6,190 infantry casualties, and we have also lost 123 of our cavalrymen. On the Confederate side, however, they attacked us with 48,400 infantrymen and 123 guns, and after this bloody day, 16,400 of the infantry are dead or wounded, and 30 of their artillery pieces have been destroyed. And I think if I would have been a little bit more aggressive, the enemy could have suffered far worse, but I hope that at least I was able to preserve our main power as much as possible. Needless to say, we have held all of our objectives, and the best unit on the battlefield was Brewster with 1,280 kills, followed by Roberts with 1,250 and McCook with 1,219. On our side, Scales suffered the most with 875 casualties, followed by Cardwell with 698. Last but not least, Roberts suffered 672 losses. And the spoils of war have been plenty. Unfortunately, we didn't got a lot of equipment that we are allowed to use. We have captured over 1,800 Springfield M1842 and we were able to rescue 2,500 of these weapons. We were also able to rescue 234 of our farmers. We got 959 M1841 Mississippis and 131 MJ&G Type 2. We were also able to save 154 rebuilt farmers and capture 211 of those, and we captured over 156 hunter rifles, meaning that we are able to downgrade one of our sniper units or build up a fresh one. Last but definitely not least, we were able to capture 6 12-pounder howitzers and 1 6-pounder field gun. In addition, we were rewarded with 2 new career points and 15 reputation, as well as $230,000 and 16,100 fresh recruits. If you take a look on our first corps, it has suffered severely, especially Cardwell's brigade, that is down to 1,000 men. And in our second brigade we can see that also Price is severely beaten. But we have a lot of men available to fix that up. Unfortunately, this has to be the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed this battle, and in next episode we are going to fight in the Battle of Malvern Hill. And until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.